I'm Z. I like working on cars. I like fixing things. I like taking them apart and putting them together so that they can work again. I like working on anything that poses a challenge, and sometimes that means doing things that I had never done before. In 2017, I got to be part of this huge operation, this project that allowed me to do all of those things. The project consisted on relocating one of our stores in San Francisco. Now, if you ever move from a house or an apartment, you know the hassle it is to move all of your stuff. Except here, we needed to move a whole shop with tire machines, lathes, CNC, heavy machinery. We were responsible for running conduit lines, copper lines, and in addition, I was responsible for putting together a paint booth and an oven that were the heart of this whole operation. The project began early in the year. We spent between 4 to 6 months in Dallas, locally, getting different projects ready, like racks, paint booth, making sure the oven worked, and then we transported all of our equipment and tools down to San Francisco, and we spent about 2 months over there. Now, the brain of this whole operation was Bob, my boss. The guy is bright and smart. I gave it to him. He envisioned the whole thing from the beginning to end. And eventually, each one of the assignments, each one of the projects, he would just communicate it to me via email or personally and let me know how he wanted it and when he wanted it. Each day it was a flow of emails, one after another, and just project after another, and plan these, plan that. I was about to go crazy. This video is the story of how it all went down. I hope you like it. My first encounter with this project was working with the oven. The objective was to extend it by adding 2 panels on each side, along with its own components. A piece of track is added to the top as we need to immediately study how to put the maximum amount of wheels per load. I laid on the ground an exact area of the oven walls to give me an idea on how to set the hooks that will hold the wheels. The hooks are designed for the painter to move them left or right or simply remove them. The track is then tested with the hooks and a load of wheels. I now move on to check that the oven components work properly and that the required temperatures are reached. Everything looks good to go, and it's time to dress it up with the covering panel. The lower panels will need to be modified as they would naturally be standing vertical. As projects begin to accumulate, it's time to hire some help. Brandon joins in. More help is needed. Michael and Kenneth had joined the team just in time to help us load up the oven into the trailer. Slowly but surely, each one of the projects began to take shape. And before we knew it, we were ready to take off. Due to some circumstances, Brandon would not be able to make it to San Francisco. He stayed behind. Michael and Kenneth would share the road, pulling the paint booth, while I ride solo pulling the oven. The next morning, after so much needed rest, we showed up to do some planning. And it was then when it finally hit me how massive this place was. I kept thinking, how are we gonna fill this up? How much stuff do they have? I remember looking at the oven back in Dallas and think of it as a huge deal. But now here, in the middle of this huge building, it almost looked insignificant. All I could think of was the size of the gigantic task we had ahead. But I wasn't stepping down or stepping back. Some of our help arrived before us. So they started working on sweating the copper pipes and installing the airlines. Unfortunately, early in the project, we had to lose our youngest assistant, Matthew, as he had to go back to school. In the meantime, the rest of us warm up engines, doing different projects. Within days, I had the opportunity to visit the OSHA. I was curious to finally see how much stuff they really had. How big was this challenge we were about to face? It was surely a lot, so it was time to head back and start working on it. The first step was moving into the nerve-wracking process of taking the oven off the trailer. Once in place, I began running the lines that communicate the oven to the control panel. While Michael started working on running the line that would feed the gas into the oven. Running conduit and pulling the wires through it was another big challenge. I was somewhat nervous about the paint booth, as it was something that it was put back in Dallas only in paper, only by calculating their dimensions and putting them together. The paint booth was never physically put together as one, so I knew this would be interesting. Alright, we're ready to test this baby with the lights, and hopefully it'll work. I'm excited about this. Okay, ready? Next one. Back two. Nope, not working.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover your...
Alright, it's time to test. It's time to test the finger. The next step is to hang the track that will hold the chain, carrying the hooks and the wheels. Halfway into the whole process, Michael leaves the project. He goes home. Brandon is called in, and he joins us just in time to keep the project moving along. Every now and then, Ryan, the store manager, would come along and check to make sure the project was going according to his needs. Finally, I have all systems go. All of them are ready to fire. They're receiving the signal from the sensors. And I'm gonna go and turn it on. The beauty of technology allows us to see everything done fast and easy, but it wasn't always like that. We ran through a lot of challenges and difficulties. Luckily, we were able to knock them down. Then it was time to set the hooks. It was time to test the chain loaded with the wheels. Remember the layout on the ground? Well, we could finally see come alive together with a complete set of wheels. While I distracted myself with the paint booth and the oven, Brandon got his own share of entertainment doing some other projects like the sink, the shower, and hanging the curtain. one thought that kept haunting me almost every day: the moving day. The whole idea that on a Friday, production would stop working, and while the guys went home, we would step in, and in just a weekend, we will move and connect everything, or at least most of the things that would make us be operational come Monday. That stole plenty of my sleep. But I guess the same pressure helped me not to think about it. And on that Monday, everything was rolling smooth. We were finally running production at the new place. The extra noise generated by the hammering of the guys working on production would not bother me at all. To me, it was the sound of success. At the end of the journey, I had added plenty of experience points into my own personal scorecard. It was a hard and long journey. It took me out of my comfort zone to test my endurance, my patience, and my physical and emotional strength. But if I had to choose the most valuable gain out of these, it was the opportunity to rub elbows and work with many different people, the satisfaction of making new friends, and of course, getting to see what the San Francisco bus is all about. Sir, how does it feel to drive a forklift for the first time?
Pretty scary.
We got Renee here.
Hey.
What's up, Renee?
What's up, brother?
What are you doing, Renee?
Oh, just rotor hammering this machine down to the ground.
All right.
So it doesn't move,
Okay.
He's the man.
He's anchoring. Okay, hold on. I didn't hear that.
Z's the man.
Who?
Z.
I said that. Many thanks to each one of you guys that in big or small ways were part of these and help us make it happen. Thank you. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.